guys. So today is the 20th and it's a super important day because it's my anniversary of being single.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I know some of y'all are like, huh? What? Who celebrates being single? But 2017 was a really rough year for me. And at the top of the year, my relationship ended, and it didn't end in the best way. And God really renewed my heart, renewed my mind, taught me a lot of things that I wouldn't have learned had I not gone through this. So, yes, I am happy that, I made it through this year single, in my right mind, and still successful, still popping, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to come on here to talk about a couple tips about, making it through a bad breakup, still striving, still continuing to be the wonderful woman, man, boy, girl that you are. So my first point is, do not play the blame game. Okay, so when my relationship had first ended, I immediately blamed myself. I was like, what's wrong with me? Am I not cute enough? Am I too big? Am I not skinny enough? Is my hair not long enough? Is my hair too kinky? Am I too dark? Am I not light enough? Is my teeth wrong? Like, I just automatically blame myself. And usually that's what happens when stuff doesn't work out your way. You automatically try to figure out, well, what's wrong with me that it didn't work out? And what was funny was I had asked God beforehand, if this relationship is not for me, if this relationship is not in your plans, then end it. And he did. So that just proves that there was nothing wrong with me. But even in that time, I had to look at myself and say, girl, there ain't nothing wrong with you. Okay, you cute, you poppin', you lovely, you smart, you beautiful, all that stuff. And then also, I had to look at the situation as a whole and say to myself, it was not my fault for the mistake that this person made. Like, this person made a mistake, this person made a decision that was not in my favor, was not in his favor really either. And it had nothing to do with me. Some people make mistakes and make decisions only thinking about themselves, or they're only in their own little bubble and they don't necessarily tell you what's going on. So when stuff comes out that you're like, whoa, how could you do this to me? It had nothing to do with you, most likely, like at all. So I had to really look at the whole situation and say that had nothing to do with me. You were going through something, you were looking for something, and the pain was hard. It was difficult to go through, but in the end, it was not my fault, and there's nothing wrong with me. So tip number 2 is, do not compromise your standards for a friendship, for family, all of those things. Do not compromise your standards. Like, it doesn't matter how cute he is. It don't matter how bomb she is. It don't matter how thick she is or nothing like that. If you have a standard, the point of a standard is to hold up to that standard or even go higher than it. You know what I'm saying? And if I have a standard, then why would I, rationalize things, rationalize behavior that does not match up or go higher than that standard that was created? And sometimes you have to go back and look at your standards and really, look back at it and go, is he or she really living up to these standards? Like, and your standards should be, that of the Bible. If you're a Christian or you believe in God and all those things, God really does give you, clear things to look for in an individual that you're going to potentially marry. So if you're constantly rationalizing behavior that does not match up, honey, he needs to go. She needs to go. Bye-bye. And I made decisions that I'm not proud of, that I made in my relationship. And at the time I was depressed and all that stuff. Sometimes I wasn't. And then sometimes I didn't even care. Like, you know, when you so deep in it, like you just don't care no more. That's where I was. I didn't care. And I particularly don't like asking for forgiveness or saying sorry when I didn't care at the time, because when you don't care, that sorry ain't true. And you can care less if you were forgiven or not. So I really had to reflect, you know, I really had to, you know, go deep within myself and really say that was wrong. That was not what I was supposed to be doing. You know, God, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. In my next relationship, this will not happen. And you really need to make some barriers so that it does not happen the next time. So my next tip is speak the opposite of what you're hearing. Yes, people, speak the opposite of what you're hearing. I don't care what anybody says. When something negative happens, you automatically think of every possible negative, wrong thing you could do to retaliate. Automatically, it comes rushing to your mind all at once. I don't care what nobody says, that happens. When somebody is talking about you, when somebody did you wrong, when somebody, you know, made the wrong decision and it hurt you personally, you think of every petty thing you can say, every bad thing you can do. If you can get your squad together and y'all can, you know, get them, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, when the truth, you know, came out, I wanted to. No, girl, stop! Oh, no! And then I wanted to. I wanted to. No! 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 Let me stop. No, but then I wanted to. Okay, I'm done. But yes, you know that little Kermit thing. You know he be talking.
Do it,
like,
girl. Yeah, do it.
No.
Do it. Do it.
Stop. Like, I literally had to go in the mirror and tell myself, you are not this girl. You do not do this. You do not say this. You know, I wasn't trying to be like them loving hip hop girls. They, you know, they loving hip hop girls and boys, shoot, that be like on Instagram, Facebook Live, Twitter, Tumblr. Like, it don't matter what it is. They on there saying the most reckless thing, hashtagging this and that, and saying the most ridiculous, hateful, evil, mean things that they could say. And I didn't want to be that girl because, number one, somebody is always watching you. Somebody is always watching me. I don't know what kind of influence I have. Half the time I feel like, you know, I'm not an influence to anyone. And then sometimes I get texts or DMs about, I was watching you and I'm so glad this and so glad that and I want this, and I didn't even know somebody was watching me. So I could not go on social media saying the most reckless stuff, calling people, telling them this and that. You know, I thought of the most pettiest things I could have done. And you reap what you sow. When somebody does you wrong, the antidote is not to do something wrong to them. Not at all. And even in the Bible it says that God handles those that do you wrong. So it took all of me not to handle it myself. And, you know, there was time where I was like,
Jesus, you showing this. You don't got it, I got it. I can, you know what I can do. My mind and all that.
like, I wanted to do everything I could, but I had to tell myself that we have no place here. You're not about to, drop these things in my mind and, whisper these things in my ear that's gonna make me go all the way out of character. And I'm not gonna lie, I did go out of character one time. Okay? And I was not proud. I had to ask for prayer. I had to talk to someone. I was not proud. And I didn't want to do that. So do not, fall into the negativity that you hear. If you deposit negativity, you'll withdraw negativity. No matter if somebody did you wrong or not. It does not do you any good. So speak the opposite of what you're hearing in those moments. And my last tip is root for other couples. Root for any other person in general. Like, it doesn't matter. All the time, I hear a lot of people talk about, I want a relationship. I really, really want a relationship. How come nobody wants me? And all this other stuff. And usually they're young and it's like, child, you a child. Like, you're young. You have so much time. You're not ready. Like, you're just not. And there's a lot of things that come with a relationship. A whole lot of things. And one thing I will say is you don't need a relationship to feel validated. Not at all. Like, that puts so much pressure on that individual. They're responsible for making you feel wanted and validated and happy all the time. And they make mistakes just as much as you do, because we're both human. We both make mistakes. We both say wrong things by accident. We're trying not to deliberately hurt you, and now you're saying that it's my responsibility to make sure that you are validated.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That's a lot of pressure. And you're supposed to be giving up those, insecurities and things up to God, And the reality is you are wanted. And if you really think about it, it's like, whoa. The one who created you. The one who created the universe and the ocean and the land and the mountains and the sky and the stars and the galaxies and the planets and the animals wants you. You are wanted. But sometimes it's just not in the right timing to be wanted romantically, because so much comes with being in a relationship. People, glamorize relationships now on social media and everything, like everything's happy, hunky-dory all the time. And that's not true. Not at all. And you are wanted. Most definitely. You're wanted by your family, by your friends, by God, by those that are watching you that you don't even know. People want your creativity. People want your love, your positivity. People want the things that you have to say. Like, you're wanted, just not romantically yet. And I always say this: if it's not meant to be, it will not be. No matter how much work, no matter how much effort you put in it, if it's not in God's plan, it will not be. It will not. He will, demolish that thing, no matter how hard you try. Some people, are on and off relationships, and it's like you weren't meant to be, so you try it again, and then it proves you weren't meant to be again, and then you try it again, and then it's still not working because you wasn't meant to be. And you wasted so much time because God just kept on having to, yank the cord, and you kept going back. Close that door, the window, basement, attic, whatever you gotta close it. And root for other couples.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Couples that are doing it right. Couples that waited. Couples that prayed for this person. couples that are loving in the right way, men that are loving as Christ loved the church, women that are trying to be the best woman they could be. Like, root for these people. There are so many, godly relationships that are scrutinized all the time because society has made relationships, a whole nother situation. Doesn't really have standards. It's more of a get what you want so you can get it type of situation. And godly relationships really need to be, loved and rooted for. So I made this video for all my young things, my older things, my young men and older men. Like, I just really wanted you to know that even if a relationship doesn't work out, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You are going to make it. You are going to recover. In fact, I just said that on my Facebook not too long ago. Don't you ever say, if a relationship does not work, I will never recover, because you're putting negativity into your future. Most people that say, I know I'm gonna have a bad day, usually have a bad day because they already spoke it. So if you think you're not gonna recover, it's gonna take you a long time to recover because you already spoken those things over yourself. You will recover. You will find love in the right time. And know that God loves you, know that I love you, and know that the people around you love you. And I'm so grateful to come to this 1 year anniversary of me being single. And I'm proud that I made it to 1 year because I learned so much that I would not have learned had I jumped into another relationship. And, I'm ready for what God has for me. Relationship-wise, career-wise, whatever. I'm ready for whatever open door God has for me. And I hope you